down off the shore. No one's gonna bother me anymore. No one's gonna mess with my head no more. I can't understand what all the fighting's for. But it's so nice here down off the shore. I wish you could see this, 'cause there's nothing to see. It's peaceful here and it's fine with me. Not like the world where I used to live. I never really wanted to live. No one's gonna bother me anymore. No one's gonna mess with my head no more. I can't understand what all the fighting's for. But it's so nice here down off the shore. I wish you could see this, 'cause there's nothing to see. It's peaceful here and it's fine with me. Not like the world where I used to live. I never really wanted to live. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. It's so good to see you again. And since you have utterly unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I am that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. Let us begin. The Tariff of Abominations. Before I start, that was a thing that happened, I believe, in 1828. It's the first major tariff event for America, and I find it awfully ironic that it's called the Tariff of Abominations. And what was it exactly? Well, it was the South calling that tariff the Tariff of Abominations. Everyone didn't call it that. And the reason is the North was products that were manufactured in the North and other countries were charging a tariff to the South of America at the time. And that's why the South hated it, because they couldn't compete with the North and they couldn't compete with in global trade or foreign trade because of the tariff, literally. So to them, it was an abomination. Never mind the slaves they had, though. You know what I mean? Did they still have slavery in 1828? If they didn't, it was still pseudo-slavery. You know what I mean? It's not like black people had rights in 1828. You see all kind of scenes in movies that deal with that subject, that period of time, where even after black people got some rights, and even the right to vote when they first got it, well, when the black people would come down to the local voting house to vote, there would be a mob of white men there to intimidate them, possibly beat them up, attack them, etc. So just because a law gets written doesn't mean it's abided by the populace, by the culture. They don't want to let the culture go of superiority. Even in the 60s, 50s, black people were still fighting for certain rights that they still did not fucking have. As they got drafted into like Vietnam and shit. Like we can't give you full rights, but, could you fight a war for us? A worthless war against Russia and China, backing the Vietnamese. That's what America offered them at the time. So the tariff in the South's eyes, the land of slavery, was an abomination. But I'm sure to them in the South at the time, slavery was not an abomination, which I find highly ironic. So that's where the Tariff of Abominations comes from. The name, it's a real thing. It was really called that by the South. And I just find it so ironic because, I know a lot about history, but I don't know everything, son. I don't know about specific tariff events. I remember they tried to tariff their way out of the Great Depression, or it caused the Great Depression, something like that. The economic part, the specific tariff events, no, I'm not an expert on that. I just learned about the Tariff of Abominations today. And it's kind of funny because, I've been saying certain things and people have been personifying certain things like Donnie Shitbags being an abomination and spouting abominations for 1,200 some days. It's in the story. And he never fails each day to do it. And I find it funny that all three of these tariff events, or excuse me, the two that are in history way back, they literally fucking ruin the economy in a lot of people's eyes. So this whole tariff extravaganza has been tried before, and it usually fucking ruins our economy. And look at what it did to the Dow already. And that's the point. And I know that's hard to believe. Everyone loves calling Donnie stupid and Leon stupid and Nutlick stupid. They're not stupid in that regard. There's a plan regarding this. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing it because they're idiots. I told you Donnie thinks he's Caesar. Any tariff money is his. Any federal money in the treasury is his. Any departmental money is his. You want to do business through the Suez, Panama, etc., you got to pay them. You want to do business in America, $5 million gold card or some type of tribute to Donnie. That's what he expects. You want to do major business in America. I'm dead serious. You've been watching it happen. You've been watching people pay for the right to do business and pay tribute one after the other. Gates, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Sundar, all of them. Leon's paid, damn near 500 million with all of his expenditure. And it bought him an office in the White House, and it bought him control of our government. Forever, because there's no more America after this. I'm sorry to tell you, unfortunately. But the point is, I find it fascinating that first tariff event that people, historians that know about this, really talk about is the Tariff of Abominations. And you're in the apocalypse, and you have an abomination in your house. Some of you put your name on it. I just find it fascinating that that's what it's called. So I woke up to this, and again, in my last video last night, I explained how in after hours, because Donnie thought he was slick and waited till after hours to announce the tariffs. So in pre-market trading, that's what the chart was called. The Dow was already down like 1,000. So we knew it was going to be ugly. And Donnie figured, hey, I'll answer one quick question about the tariffs because I know everyone's going to ask me about it because I'm tanking the economy on purpose. I'm also grifting with my business buddies. All of us with the inside info of when the tariffs get announced, what's going to happen with the market. We know how to bet. We make millions overnight, or if not billions. That's part of this. But let's just get into it. S&P 500 plunges over 3% as markets reel from shock of Trump tariffs. That's the beginning of the day. It was down 1,500 points, the Dow. By the end of the day, it was down almost 1,700 points in one day. You're being dismantled and looted. They need to wreck the economy. Everything they're doing indicates that's the plan. That's the idea. No matter how many hours you see and have to hear Nutlick's whiny ass voice lying his fucking ass off, trying to sell this as a good thing. Fox News took the stock ticker down off their channel today. Normally they have it going right in the corner or whatever. Not today, son. They know what it is. Yeah, Judge Janine lying her ass off tonight saying, I don't care about my 401k. These people, these cretins, she dares say she doesn't care about her 401k. No, because it's Donnie doing it. That's the thing with you people. If Donnie's burning your house down, you got to stand back and let it burn and clap like a good... Wait a minute. Who set that dang fire? Did they have an R next to their name? Because if they did, I have to let it burn. My family's inside too. I gotta let them burn too. That's the attitude. That's how lost you are. That's how brainwashed you are. That's why you lost your country, son. So yes, as long as Donnie's burning the house down, it's cool, and we're gonna boast of it and talk about how great it is as that fire hits our ass. Dow Jones down 1,500. That was the beginnings of the day. That wasn't the ends of the day. This is a little parody. Since Leon's all about saving money and Doge and shit. Unbelievable. The Doge team has discovered tens of millions of dollars spent on golf by a single government official. Stay tuned to when we figure out who it is. Well, that's Donnie, obviously. Obviously, Leon didn't really post this. It's a fake Leon post. I'm admitting that. It's a joke. I thought it was funny because Donnie golfs every weekend on your dime, son. He's filthy rich, and he golfs on your dime. His whole entourage. You know, when the president goes somewhere, it's not just him, right? And a couple friends. It's a whole motherfucking entourage of Secret Service and other... Leon, his extended family, his 9 baby mamas and all his kids and shit, they're going. Everybody's going. And guess who's paying for it? You, son. And guess where Donnie's going every weekend? Where he went this weekend. And he started the weekend early on Thursday. Crash the economy the night before, answers one question, hops a flight, because he knows he's going to get crucified. They knew the market was going to tank the second they announced the tariffs. That's why they waited till after the market closed. So yes, Donnie every weekend, and he started the weekend one day early after ruining your 401k for the next, forever actually. I don't think this one's going up this time, son. That's what I told you. There's real consequences for putting your name on the beast. There just is. And the consequences are a 1,700 point drop in the Dow. And even the Walton family's mad at Donnie. The Walmart people, even they mad. Bartiromo, half of the motherfuckers on Fox, they mad as hell. Ducey's son's mad as fuck. He been mad for weeks about this tariff shit. I can tell by every question he asks. He's mad as fuck about this tariff. It's fucking his portfolio up. That's what Donnie's doing. And nothing makes motherfuckers mad like that, man. So I don't know if it's ever going to go up, back up this time. This might be the time, you know, like the Great Depression, where it doesn't go back up. And people keep trying to prop it up. But again, the point is, the millions of dollars per weekend that Donnie wastes of your money golfing at his own clubs. He went to Doral this weekend, I believe. At his own club, son. That doesn't bother you? Getting grifted right in your motherfucking face. That doesn't bother you. That's a cult, son. That's a cult. And that's where Donnie, left for Thursday again after he tanked the economy. Don't forget that. 1,700 point down. That's your 401k, motherfucker. News. Oh, this was all the starting like the day off type shit I saw. Whirlpool Corp announces Iowa's largest layoff of 2025 in a Mana manufacturing facility. Nearly 1/3 of company's workforce in Iowa facility will be let go due to current market conditions. And we know what that is. Tariffs. Tariff of Abominations. Again, I told you people, I told everyone, so many others, or I'm telling you now, actually. Again, this isn't, you don't get to just vote for evil and walk away. And if you laughed, as 2 million in the end, probably, government workers get fired, you didn't think that was going to come to your factory or your segment of the economy. You didn't think Donnie's tariffs were going to come to your segment of the economy, right? You watched him tariff the shit out of people last time. You watched farmers commit suicide, lose their farm, all kind of horrid shit. And everybody said Donnie wouldn't do it. They said it again this time, too. Donnie won't do it. Economists, everybody knew, right? He did it. So here we are again. So Whirlpool and other companies, again, when you lay off 2 million people from the government, that means you might get laid off too, son, because that has a ripple effect through the economy. That's a lot of people losing their jobs. A lot of them had good paying jobs too. All for a grift by Nazis. Here's some more. Stellantis NV, maker of Ram trucks and Jeeps, said on Thursday it was temporarily laying off 900 workers at 5 U.S. facilities after Trump's tariffs were announced, the Tariff of Abominations. 2 companies, day one. 900, that's a lot of fucking people, man. So we got tariffs on everybody's cars, Canada's cars. They put reciprocal tariffs on American cars. And you got 900 layoffs as a result. That's Donnie's grift. How many of that 900 voted for their own layoff? Might never come back either, son. Again, this is a dismantling and looting. This isn't let it all come back and build up again. They need you desperate. They need you vulnerable so they can hand you that Donnie coin and you sign on the dotted line. Maybe you get something put in your hand or on your hand too. That's how they need you. They need us broken, weakened, no allies, vulnerable for attack, vulnerable for them to come in and save us from the problems they literally created. You know, all the strategy you heard on Alex Jones, except Alex lied to you and equated it to other people when Alex was the movement himself. And you watching him and supporting him were the movement. Still are the movement if your name's still on it. Hopefully for your sake, you turn away, because it don't get me jack shit if you turn away, son. But I ain't going to be like so many on the planet. No matter what it costs. I'm going to say what this is, and I'm not going to be afraid to say it. Because I know a lot more people that have studied what I've studied know what this is. And they're afraid to say it. Because it'll cost them. And it puts a target on their back. Just like I have. I had one before, though. I had mobsters come after me because of things I talked about. So I'm used to having a target on my back, but still, when you say these things, you're going to have a target from the spiritual realm and this realm. All at once. It's not easy. things will come at you that you don't foresee. Anyway, I digress. Leon and Donnie, after he tariffed the Penguins, because that's how raging crazy the beast is. Just tariffs. Oh, there's an island there. Tariff it. If they don't pay, fuck them. Maybe we'll bomb them or something. That's the beast, son. Tariffing empty islands with only penguins on it. I talked about it last night. I just thought it was funny. An employee of the month. Look at Vlad. His best employee, Donnie Krasnov. Trojan horse, Leon Trojan horse. I assume Leon went to the Russian mob for a chunk of change at some point, or investment capital at some point. Leon was a total Trojan horse. So was Donnie Krasnov, that is. Russia's bitch, Vlad's bitch since 1987. Can you believe it? This is Eric Trump giving the game away. Maybe he was supposed to. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the last country that tries to negotiate a trade deal with Trump. The first to negotiate will win. The last will absolutely lose. I've seen this movie my entire life. I don't know if Donnie told him to say that, or he's running his mouth for Donnie thinking he's in charge. I don't know. Eric has a tendency to do that, to say horribly stupid things. I can't remember the last crazy thing. It was so bad. Oh, that's right. Basically saying they were going to come after everyone. And we're going to do so much worse to you if you don't comply and blah, blah, blah. That's right. Eric got a little overzealous with that one. Maybe a few too many cognacs that night. I don't know. So Eric's giving the game away here that what this trade bullshit, this tariff of abominations also is a way to extort countries and trading partners. Oh, you don't want these tariffs? Well, you got to give me something. That's Donnie. More extortion, manipulation of the market as well. He brings in money that way, him and his people, I guarantee it. Donnie knows with one word he can make the market drop 2,000 points. He knows this. He's been doing it over and over again, back and forth, back and forth. Tariffs, not tariffs, tariffs, not tariffs. You think that's not calculated? You think people aren't cashing the fuck in on that? You think Donnie isn't in some roundabout way? Of course he is. Of course they are. It's the whole reason for it. He waited till after closing bell to announce intentionally. What does that tell you? Utter market manipulation is going on. Plus, now they're starting a list, or now there's a line of countries who need to rush and elbow people out of the way to try and make better trade deals. You got to give Donnie something, though. Of course, it's going to cost you a tribute payment. Just like it costs Google, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, cost all you people. Now the market's gone down. I've seen your numbers. Google, Microsoft, all you people lost billions and shit. I told you it was going to come to your doorstep. And I told you Donnie would cost a lot more than I would and other people, and doing the right thing. What you're doing now is going to cost you 1,000,000 times more. And you know it. You've already paid tribute. Now your fucking stock's down like a motherfucker. I know a lot of you high-level dudes, like Sindar CEOs, a lot of your package is, stock. How much is it going to be worth when Donnie's done? And that's after your millions in tribute when Caesar first got coronated. That's the way you people treated him. So again, not only is it about market manipulation and what money can be made there, and hey, if you know the market's going to drop in the morning or after hours by 700 points, and you bet on that, you can become a fucking millionaire overnight. And, only a few people would know that. and their buddies. So I guarantee there's market manipulation involved in this, and a lot of people are getting rich off it. Then we have, again, the elbowing of each other out of the way, all the countries and trading partners. I need to make a deal. I don't want to be last in line. Look what Eric said. Look what Donnie's saying. Donnie made the same similar statement today. So this is kind of coordinated thing. Remember, they're playing these games, putting these fucking posts out while you've lost your job and possibly going to lose maybe whatever social program you're on. Your 401k took a drastic hit today. Don't worry, I guarantee it did. Might never come back. Again, this isn't like all the other times. There are going to be real consequences for everyone this time. Which brings us to this. It's a parody shot of a movie called The Road with Viggo and his son in the movie. And there's a quote next to it. Yes, but there was so much DEI. And the movie The Road is about the apocalypse after, the breakdown of society, some natural disaster or something. And this is Viggo with a cart full of their possessions with his son. They're trying to just get somewhere safe anywhere they don't know. In a very dangerous world, postmodern society, no one's safe. In other words, Rubes, that's what you may end up in this situation because of this attitude. Yes, but there was so much DEI, because of who you hated, because you voted for the Antichrist, literally. Our world may end up like this. That's why, I talk about this stuff all the time, but believe me, this bothers me here. This type of stuff. And as I talk about it and throughout these 10 years, as it's now been verified, there's a real possibility of this here in America, the place of such excess. Again, dismantling and looting, that's what's going on. Intentionally, they're not stupid in this regard. They're stupid in many others, but not this one. The grift. It's all they've ever done their entire life. Leon and Donnie. So when I think of this whole apocalypse thing, and when I think of the moment it was verified for me, because I don't want it to be verified, people, I keep telling you this. I want to be crazy. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want all of you telling me how fucking stupid I was and how wrong I was when the miracle happens and this all goes away. I don't want to be right. It doesn't make me feel good being right. In fact, it makes me feel bad. I would love all this to go away just like you would. So when it was confirmed for me, and believe me, that was not a fun moment for me because I didn't want it to be confirmed. From that point forward, and why I didn't want it to be confirmed is this movie, The Road. Again, which is not an easy movie to watch. There's not a lot of good happening in this movie. It's a very realistic version of what would happen after the total breakdown of society. Again, chaos, war, division, and worship. That's what this thing wants, this orange thing. That's what his sidekick wants too. That's what their daddy wants too. And it wouldn't matter to them if we ended up like this. And they're showing you that by the mass firings, by senators making fun of people exiting the building that were fired. What if his bitch ass gets fired one day? He wouldn't be laughing and making fun, would he? Probably not. So ever since it got confirmed, this is what I think of, this movie here, The Road specifically. And again, I'm not suggesting to watch it. It's very difficult to watch it. And again, it illustrates your attitude, so many of you out there, and why you've lost your country. Because you were worried about DEI and bullshit like that, meaningless bullshit that does nothing to impact your life. When you should have been worried about making sure con men and grifters don't have access to all your family's information, money, tax info. And didn't people like fat South African oligarchs didn't get co-chancellor positions. That should have spooked you away from Donnie big time. Because sometimes, rubes, you get a junkyard dog like Adolf that comes along. Adolf was a co-chancellor too, created a whole position just for him. And then one day he was king. And just like you rubes think today, it's a game, it's a football game, it's a contest, my team must win. It's politics as normal. I can just keep voting for this evil because they don't like who I don't like. And that's the real issue here. That's what matters to me. So you focus on that and you end up here, your whole country, not because you lost your job, not because you were irresponsible in that way. You were irresponsible with your country, your vote, your rights, your children's future, your future, our future, the planet's future, because it's all going to be affected. You're seeing it. You're watching it every day get affected more and more. This cancer that starts with Donnie and Leon just work its way outward. This is what I think of. They're going to bring us to ruin like this. All those movies you watched, that seems so impossible. That story at the end of a book called the Bible, that seems so impossible. That I want to be impossible. I wanted it to be impossible. Happening. Foretold and happening. I'd love for it not to be. Anyway, so while Donnie, hopped a flight to the golf course and to hang out with the Saudis, because it was a Saudi sponsored golf tournament at Doral, I assume, this happened. Trump is heading to his golf course today after 20 plus tornadoes hit Arkansas, leaving 30,000 without power. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. This is one of the actual tornadoes itself. Looks pretty fucking hideous and devastating. This is some cars and debris all piled up from the tornado. Another car that's kind of thrown into a wall here. And just some kind of fallen trees and debris. Donnie was on the golf course hanging out with the Saudis. Didn't address this at all. The 4 soldiers that got killed, I think there was an event for them. Donnie, again, hanging with the Saudis at his own golf club on your dime. And then the tornado damage, Donnie couldn't be bothered with that either. After he tanked the market the night before. Here's Nutlick early in the day. I mean, he was there like a preacher for Donnie on the news shows this morning. You just should have heard the guy. Here we go. Here's a quote. Let Donald Trump run the global economy. He knows what he's doing. He's been talking about it for 35 years. Yeah, he's been running for president for 35 years as well. That's what Lutnick really means. You got to trust Donald Trump in the White House. It's broken. Let him fix it. Let Donald Trump fix the American economy. When has Donnie ever done that? He left during a plague last time that had the whole fucking world shut down. Rents went up $500. Housing costs went up immediately after. It was a fucking nightmare. Market was, tanked. Economy ruined. That's what he left. You saw the tariffs and economic policies back then. You said, let me try that again? The guy that left us in shambles with a plague and a fucking utterly devastated economy. You said, let's try that again. The guy who bankrupted 7 fucking casinos. You said, let's try that again. Let him run the economy. Let him fix it. That's what Nutlick is saying here. The guy who bankrupts 3 casinos. Anyway, that's not the plan. They're just trying to appease you as you watch your 401k disappear. And Nutlick is out there, man. He's like Donnie's personal economic preacher. Let Donnie work his magic. As the Dow drops 1,700. That's what Nutlick was doing today. As your 401k lost 100,000 in value. This is Leon. What's the date on this? From 2024, October. Trump ally Leon Scum warns of necessary economic collapse if Trump elected. And Midas Touch is saying, we warned you of their plan. No, they warned you of their plan. Leon and all of them. They said, yeah, it's going to hurt in the beginning. By hurt, they mean, I don't know, 100 million of you lose a lot of your savings and retirement. And, the tariffs will kill other things. Your farm, maybe your business. In other words, when cunts like Leon use these phrases like words of necessary economic collapse, those are human beings. These aren't just statistics, numbers, and money. People losing businesses, homes, farms, whatever. Great, could possibly suffer for 20, 30 years as a result, if not the rest of their life. Could forever be altered negatively, horribly negatively, because of Leon and Donnie's Reich and their idea of a Reich and what they want. And again, we're all just casualties. The Dow, you, me, and it doesn't matter if you voted for it or not, or support it or not. You're still a casualty. They want to take everything, man. Again, you don't even know how bad this is going to be and where it's going. These people are pure evil. And they're foaming at the mouth to just let loose with it. Trump fires NSC officials right after meeting with far-right activists. That's Laura Loomer, came for a visit. And Donnie talked about it to the press, too. They want to push this idea that she came with some names and got some people fired. Donnie wants to push it. The papers do. Laura wants to push it. So this was some type of calculated thing. And let's be honest, we know Laura didn't just come over to drop off a few names. That's not what Laura does when she comes over and visits Donnie. Let's be honest. We all know this. But the point is, Laura Loomer is getting people fired now. They want that idea put forth for some reason. In government. When she pays Donnie a visit to do their business. That's the state of your country, son. I would never want Laura Loomer doing any business for the United States or making decisions on who gets fired and who doesn't. I'll show you a picture of her later. We'll get to it. Here's Nutlick again on CNN. The reporter, Brown, what do you say to those Americans who put you in office to lower prices, not raise them? Or Donnie, or however you want to look at it. Nutlick, Donnie, the whole thing. Nutlick, why aren't you talking about the fact that oil in the gas pump is going to come smashing down? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. That's not even in effect now, Brown says. Yes, the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. That's not going to happen, in my opinion, for what I've seen. And it's not even in effect right now. Anyway, so that's a non-issue. That did not happen. I don't think it ever will happen. Hopefully I'm wrong for you people that get overtime and work for tips. Nutlick just wants to change the subject. Again, there's no sugarcoating this. There's no glossing over it. There's no, Caroline Levitt getting the fuck up there and bullshitting us. The market went down 1,700. That's rich people's money. They get real mad. And it's also your money. You should be mad too. And again, you got Nutlick wasting, as a government employee, I think, just wasting tax dollars on these news shows, trying to convince you that a 1,700 point drop in the Dow's good, trying to convince you, grandma, if you don't get your check, you shouldn't complain, because only people that complain loudly are frauds. You must be a fraud if you complain. Because his mother-in-law, Nutlick, remember, he said his mother-in-law would not even complain. She would just assume it was a problem. But, his mother-in-law has a son-in-law that's worth $2 billion. Do you? You have a son-in-law, neighbor, friend, dad, mother, worth $2 billion? Because that's what Nutlick is worth, that we know of. Without, the Swiss bank accounts and shit. So again, these are some of the things that Nutlick said, trying to convince you that a 1,700 point drop in the Dow is good. No, that's not good in anyone's realm. From any perspective, that's not good. It's people's retirements we're talking about invested in the market that Donnie and Nutlick are playing with so they can make millions on betting on the dip. And again, never forget, Nutlick was out there on camera saying his mother-in-law would not complain if she didn't get her Social Security check. She would just assume it's an error. Again, but her son-in-law's worth $2 billion. I have a feeling you guys out there don't have a son-in-law worth $2 billion. So your Social Security's it. Again, these cunts, these evil cunts, trying to tell you to your face that if we steal your money, don't even complain about it. That's what you gave your country to, son. That's why it's over. That's 1984 type shit. That's Hunger Games type shit. Trying to convince the masses that, if we steal your Social Security check 1 or 2 months or forever, just, sit back and take it. That's what's being said over the airwaves to you. Your tax dollars are paying that cunt, Nutlick, to say that to you. That's why your country's gone. Because you gave Nutlick the keys, you gave Donnie the keys. You gave Brooke Rollins the keys. My God, she's a hag. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins next to a ticker showing the Dow down 1,200 points. Here's what Brooke is saying as the Dow is dropping 1,200. We are really, really excited and very grateful for President Trump's leadership. Yes, pure 1984, pure denial of reality. Literal bombs are falling from the sky, and Brooke would stand there saying how great of a day it is. That's what you got. Again, your country's gone, man. No foundation in reality in any of this. Again, Donnie took one question this morning, and you know how Donnie loves to stand by the chopper and just talk for an hour with the blades going and the noise, thinking he's fucking Rambo or something, or in some movie. Cringe as fuck every day. But this time, Donnie takes one quick question after he intentionally tanks the market and hops a flight to his golf course to hang with the Saudis. Your country's done, son. It's done. And Brooke is on the team to help kill it. Because she's saying, we're really excited. We're grateful for Donnie's leadership. As her 401k just lost, $500,000. Here's Noel Castler. Trump is heading down to Florida today for LIV golf dinner and tournament at his Doral club. He didn't even bother to wait until Friday this week. KSA has been good to him, and he knows where his bread is buttered. Stock market is down 1,500 points, and we're heading for a global recession. Well done, MAGA winning. Yep, that's where we at. Can't argue with any of it. I'm sure you'll try, though, as Rome burns. And you're a Roman. Here's JD the couch fucker lying his ass off. Vance claims that 40% of the people calling into our Social Security system are committing fraud. Yes, he literally said that. He said 40% of the calls are fraud. 40% of the calls into Social Security are fraud. The couch fucker actually said it. He pulled that completely out of his ass. It's not even remotely true. Again, this is where we're at, where the vice president or president will flat out fabricate a statistic, pull it straight out their ass. In defense of Leon and his Hitler Youth, cutting the fuck out of government, and they can't cite one case of fucking fraud. Not one. As they cost you $8 million a week, by the way. All the Doge cunts that are dismantling and looting your country and that have stolen all your personal information. Already gone. They already have it. And then you got JD, the couch fucker, doing the rounds, lying, saying 40% calling into Social Security or committing fraud. 6 dead as storm brings catastrophic flood risk to central U.S. Floodwaters were rising in Nashville after a harrowing night of damaging tornadoes and windstorms that killed at least 5 people in Tennessee. Donnie was golfing, hanging with the Saudis as the market was dropping 1,700. Priorities, priorities. Hey, you voted for it. At least you got to own the libs, right? As your house got blown away by a tornado and now there's like no more FEMA and shit. I'm sure you'll get all the consolation you need because you own the libs. Never mind that fucking tornado stuff. Never mind that Donnie golfs instead of handling the 4 dead soldiers like a true president would. At his own courses so he can pocket your tax money. Literally. French President Macron announces pause on future and recent investments in the United States. Yes, I listened to this, and Macron basically said, what kind of example would we set if they tariff the shit out of us and we're still invested in America? Why would we do that? We'd look like jerk-offs, right? Right. And I'm hearing talk like this from all the European countries, from the Asian countries, all the current investments and future plans to invest. A lot of them are saying, we're not going to do that while this whole tariff bullshit's going on. We're just going to pull back our money from current investments and just, forget about future investments for now. Till the Antichrist is gone. Unfortunately for all of us, he's not going nowhere. We have to white knuckle this the fuck out. That's what Europes have done. That's why your guide is here. For the good people that didn't go down the path of rubery. They need a guide. The rest of you just following Donnie straight over the abyss, straight into the abyss. I can't save you. Only you can save yourself by turning away from it. Here's Leon, because here's what Leon is thinking about. We got Alex Jones, we got Roger Stone discussing. This is Alex Jones' post. There's overwhelming evidence that the Wisconsin Supreme Court race was stolen, says Roger Stone. Well, Roger's honest, right, with the Nixon tramp stamp. It's a matter of simple math. The numbers just don't add up. So Alex and Stone are going to talk about how that judge thing was rigged. Now, Leon buying votes and all that, that's not the problem. The problem is the election was rigged. Leon handing out $1 million checks, no problem. Bribing people for votes, no problem. But the election was rigged. Leon is co-signing this. At the bottom, you'll see his little excuse me. HMMMM at the bottom. Leon's little purple and whatever Saturn symbol. That's the symbol for Grok now, the Saturn, the planet Saturn. And for those of us who have sought wisdom, we know what Saturn represents, right? So yes, Leon co-signs this idea that the judge election was stolen or rigged. And, you know, Leon, again, he's showing you what his priorities are, as so many of you lost your fucking government jobs and so many of you are about to be laid off because of Donnie's tariffs and Leon's policies as well. That's the point. Suffering, people dying, eugenics, and a Nazi takeover. Seriously, he did the Nazi salute. I didn't do it. I didn't ask him to do it. I didn't want him to do it. His fat ass did it. So when I say Nazi, don't laugh, because the motherfucker did a literal salute right in your fucking face. So again, I know it sounds crazy hearing it out loud, but he did it. He's the one using Saturn, Pepe the Frog, Saturn, Leon, Baphomet, digital currency. So Leon's co-signing this. That's what he's thinking about. All the $25 million he spent on the Wisconsin election, you know, bribing people, doing what he had to do. He's still thinking about how he can cash in on that, stir up a little controversy, maybe get a few people killed by inciting violence, saying things are rigged. You know, the same thing these people always do. Alex still grifting. And what Alex has been doing lately, I don't know if you noticed, he's really trying to lasso Leon and Donnie his way so he can get a fucking bailout from them. He's desperate. He owes $1 billion. That's so whatever he needs to say to catch Donnie's eye, catch Leon's eye. Alex is completely team globalist now. And if you didn't know, the globalists are Donnie and Leon. How do I know that? Because Donnie wanted Greenland in the first term. Donnie doesn't want any borders. He just wants to take everything. He wants his kingdom to be from Greenland all the way down to South America. No borders. That's called globalism, son. You know what Alex used to talk about? But he equated it all to liberals. Now he's a literal globalist. He's on their team. Look, he's doing Leon a solid right here. Snake oil, globalists, Satanists, that's what Alex is a part of now. Nazis, white supremacy, white nationalism, which was what Alex was always about. Every time the Soros name comes up, that's because he's Jewish. That's what Alex was doing all that time with that name. Still is. He's a white nationalist. He's proven it over and over again. He's proving he's a globalist. He's proving he's willing to align with Satanists. All those words he used on you people. He was the hand of it. So were you. So is Leon. So is Donnie. Donnie wants a kingdom in fucking Israel too. Did you see the commercial? Gold statues. Trump Gaza. Again, these people are evil, son. And again, you've been looking at it the completely wrong way. You've been listening to these morons. Do they look like honest people to you? Alex, you know, every show throwing a snake oil commercial, like, I don't know, every minute and a half and shit. Reads like 3 headlines. Buy Echo Shield 3000. It'll give you a fucking hard on. That's what you people are watching. You're watching the guy on Team Globalist. Again, these people are crazy. They want no borders. They want a Reich. Alex been a white nationalist a long time, so he'll work with them. And he needs a lifeline. I just find it so ironic. All those words he used on you people, that's what he's taking part in. That's what you were taking part in, and so was he. As you pointed the finger at others, they're the Satanists, they're the pedos, they're this, they're that. No, it was you. It was all of you. I see the names every day. I see the cops, firemen, clergy every fucking day. Constant stream of it. All right-wing people. So again, Alex loved to use the word globalist every 3 seconds. Loved to use the word Luciferian and Satanist. That's him. That's you. If your name's still on this. I promise you. And you're watching it play out and it's already horrible. Imagine how much worse it's going to get. We're just, kind of a little bit past the beginning. So this is Leon's priority, his $25 million that he spent to sway an election and bribe people. As you lost your job, your 401k is now gone down because the Dow's down 1,700. Wonder how much it'll be down tomorrow. As Donnie's golfing with the Saudis. It's like a 3-day tournament or something probably, right? Whole weekend thing. On your dime, you get to pay for Donnie's hotel room because he probably charges, for a room for himself even on your dime. His club, you don't seem to mind getting conned, getting grifted, whatever. Yeah, here's the beginning of the day. Trump took one single question from a reporter outside the White House, then hopped in a helicopter to begin his trip to Florida for a golf tournament at his private club. I guess that's all we'll hear from him today about wrecking the economy. Yes, this is one of the things he said as he, sauntered off to the helicopter because he knew the market was going to be down 1,000 when he woke up. He knew the press was going to crucify him and everybody. That's why he just fled to his golf course to go hide. With the important people, the Saudis. America first, right, guys? Reporter asks him, the markets today are way down, the worst day in years, because of the tariffs. So how's it going? Trump, I think it's going very well. It was an operation like when a patient gets operated on. Yes, Donnie likens you getting laid off, you losing money, ruining the economy, to someone getting surgery. And right now it's the bad part. We got to cut into them. We got to take so they can heal gradually over time. Do you really believe this bullshit? You can't see you're being dismantled and looted, son. When the president hops a flight to his golf course on your dime, you're paying for that flight. You're paying for every room, for every one of his entourage. Takes one question after he tanks the market intentionally the night before. That is not a good sign for you, son, or me, or anyone. I told you they're so blasé and casual about it because they know they go in full fascist and full dismantling and full looting. That's why Donnie doesn't really care. Most politicians would be scared to show their face ever again after tanking the market 1,700. Nah, Donnie just goes and hides at his golf course, and he makes you pay for it. Not just for him, his whole fucking entourage. Incredible that a president would intentionally tank the market the night before. Wake up. Know the press is about to crucify him because he did it intentionally. For some grift or many grifts. Takes one quick question, runs onto the helicopter to go to his own golf course and charge you for it. That's what you voted for, son, and you watched him do it the entire first term. So I guess you didn't mind paying Donnie specifically for his own clubs, right in his own pocket. And paying for his little vacation time every weekend. Literally everything on your dime. Every drink at the bar, every motherfucking thing. Who's going to stop him? You? You keep voting for it. Why would anyone stop him? So yes, again, when he talks patient and surgery and, it's pain now, but there'll be healing later. Again, this is your lives, people. These Reich members like Donnie, members of the Reich, they say these phrases, and Nutlick says these phrases No, that's your lives. That's people's lives that are going to be ruined for years, if not forever, off their little experiments. Let's see how far we can go with installing a literal Nazi Reich and asking humans to worship me before they rise up with pitchforks. That's the experiment we're running with here, with the beast and the false prophet. I thought this was hilarious. It's a video clip of some stock people on one of the channels, CNBC. Faber, that's the first one. You don't believe the theory? It's about getting rates down. Ison, at what cost? Quintanilla, this is burning down the house to cook a steak. Yes. Yes, burning down the house to cook a steak. In other words, again, the Dow, your 401k, and your life are just a casualty of the grift. And the grift is Donnie gets to extort trading partners and have them pay tribute and money to do business to make the tariffs go away. And Donnie gets to manipulate the market, and he and his buddies get to, bet on that and make millions overnight. So yes, we are burning down the house to cook a steak. There's no rationale to this. Motherfuckers talking about, oh, it's a way to get rates down, blah, blah. No, that's not the plan. The plan is dismantle and loot and install a Reich. And annex places like Canada, Greenland, Central America, Mexico, the top of South America, Gaza. That's the plan. So yes, this is burning the house to cook a steak. And he's saying that in jest, the broadcaster. But that's literally what they're doing. And the steak for Donnie and Leon and all them is the grift, is the Reich, is all their plans and their agenda. As you're looking at DEI and rounding up brown-skinned immigrants and all that, as you're looking at all that dumb shit that you love so much, you're getting utterly grifted and fucking looted, and you're paying for it. Every flight for Leon and his kid, every flight for Donnie and his family and his entourage, as they ruin this country and dismantle your future, you're paying for it. Anyway, this is Mark Carney, the head of Canada at the moment. In response to Trump's tariffs on our auto sector, Canada will impose a 25% tariff on all U.S. vehicle imports. That's not good for us. Not good. That's why the Dow's down 17. Again, our best trading partners, they hate us now. And Donnie's making them hate us more and now institute tariffs and other policies that are going to hurt our country. Thanks, Rubes. The optics of Trump demolishing the economy and then piecing out for some R&R at a Saudi-funded golf tournament held at a private club he still owns and profits from aren't great. Yeah, the optics are horrible, but the Rubes don't care. They watched him do it the first time, and they paid the bill. We want to do it again. Let's spend millions on a fat fuck who cheats at golf at his own club, son. How pathetic is that? That you want your tax money wasted on that shit. And that's just one small horrid aspect of the grifter. Yeah, the optics are horrible, and that's kind of proves my point again. The reason they don't care, because they know they go in full fascist, they're going to unleash that beast. Like Hitler did, where he just arrests everybody one day. Everybody doesn't like. Total fascism, total Nazism. They know it's coming, so they're kind of half-assed in their performance right now. J.D. Vance, the couch fucker, claims that Maryland father the Trump administration mistakenly deported to a slave prison in El Salvador wasn't Father of the Year because he had traffic violations, and says we do not ask permission from far-left Democrats before we deport illegal immigrants. Well, he wasn't illegal, though. This is the one they admitted they weren't supposed to deport, the Maryland father. No crimes, traffic violations, you say? Again, we're seeing a defense by the vice president of literal grabbing people off the street, admitting it in court. Your lawyers admit it, the government's lawyers, that they shouldn't have sent him down there. And then they said, we just can't get him back. Sorry. And you have the couch fucker defending that, trying to convince you that's a good thing. You realize they admitted that this man wasn't supposed to get deported. Do you know what that means? That means it could be you one day, son. That's what that means. And again, I've seen all kind of different men of Latin persuasion getting approached by ICE that are full citizens. They live here. They've always lived here. They were born here because they look Latin. And that's the only profile you can really do, right? That's why roundups based on ethnicity are not a good thing. And I explained that again to Mr. Cortez over a year ago in a live stream. I explained to him, if you look Latin, sir, if you're in favor of these roundups, they might come at you. And again, by the time you get it all cleared up, they've already beat your ass, thrown you in a paddy wagon, taken you 8 states away, maybe shipped you to El Salvador. So, it's like a minor inconvenience. You're only going to lose your job. Your family's going to not know what the fuck happened to you. Everyone's going to think you're crazy. When you call collect from El Salvador 8 weeks later, if they allow it in the death camp. I don't know. So yeah, it's not a minor convenience. And even, the Latin men that have been harassed by ICE that are full citizens and have to convince an ICE agent that really needs a bus because they got, they want some big numbers here. And these are brown shirt traders. So, they really want to impress the Reich. Even those men, how would you like to be harassed? Said papers, please. And then when you give them your papers or tell them you're a citizen, they treat you like a liar. Yeah, right, sure you are. You're a Latin man in a restaurant. You can't be a citizen. These are scumbags that do this shit for a living. Anyway, Dr. Oz confirmed as administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Well, I guess there goes Medicare and Medicaid. And the dystopian Oz is the one that's going to dismantle and fuck it up and ruin it. I guess he's a Satanist too. And if you look at these two faces, that's not hard to believe, actually. Look at Donnie's face. He's in his fucking satanic glory and shit. His Reich glory. Look at this. Yeah, dystopian Oz looks like he fits in that group. They look like two wonderful guys, don't they? Not evil at all. You do understand that Trump and his pals are doing the world's biggest ever stock market manipulation, and that probably means the world's biggest ever crime. Yep, that's what's happening. That's one aspect of it. I said it. Many others have said it. That's why it's tariffs, not tariffs, tariffs, not tariffs. Fuck it, April 2nd, everyone's getting tariffed, and you got to get in line to beg me to take the tariffs off and maybe pay me a couple billion or million, and we'll make a deal. They're nuking the economy on purpose to bring the public to its knees. Then they'll consolidate all power. If you follow the path of most modern dictators, they all follow the same exact steps. Going after the judiciary, the media, the colleges. It's the exact same playbook. Yes, burning books. That was part of the MAGA movement. And every group of MAGA people that thought burning books was cool, if you think that's cool, well, you're a Nazi, son. That's what the Nazis did. You're a Nazi. This is Laura Loomer. And this picture is not easy to find because I did a search for her today since she stopped by Donnie's office to pay him a little visit. And I noticed the kind of pictures that all come up now. She must have did some real work and made a lot of threats on the internet because there's some real wonderful pictures of her out there. And this is one of them. And I had to find this on Twitter. I've seen it many times. And it scares the shit out of me. I mean, really scares me. I mean, she's got so much filler in that fucking face. And those lips, my God. She looks like a swollen Klingon or some shit. That's what some of you ladies are fucking up. Amber Heard was starting to look a little bit like that in her court case. So much filler up in the brow area and different. You start to look like a Klingon, ladies. Do you understand that? Laura's walking a fine fucking line. That face is plastic as a motherfucker. So that's who stopped by Donnie's pad today to, drop some names and leave. Sure, Laura. Sure, Donnie. And they both put out a statement. Donnie talked about it in front of the press, and the headline was put out for the paper. So this is a controlled, contrived thing. They wanted this message out for some reason with this lovely woman and Donnie's, what's that called? Rendezvous today. Looks totally well adjusted. The doctor did excellent work. It only took about 97 vials of filler to do that, to get that rock face, plastic face kind of look where nothing moves. If you smile, nothing moves. If you have a sad face, nothing moves. Oh, God. It's as if he's a Russian asset trying to destroy America from within. Yeah. Literally, Krasnov, Donnie Krasnov. That's what he's doing. Part of it's for Vlad. Part of it's because he's the beast, the Antichrist. Part of it's for his master. Part of it's for himself. America, you did Donnie dirty. You convicted him. You aired his dirty laundry. He's mad at all of us. New York, he's mad at them. Maybe he'll let New York get attacked or something. I wouldn't put it past him. He's evil, pure evil. Donnie, Leon, and many others. Again, I don't use that word for nothing. I'm not using it to be dramatic. I wish I was. Trump shows journalists a gold card featuring his face for $5 million. This could be yours. He does this on the very day the market wipes out $2.6 trillion in value, while millions of Americans fear for their jobs amid a looming recession so out of touch. Well, a few thousand already lost their jobs. Those layoffs already took place or are going to. That's just the opening, ante. Imagine how many more layoffs all across different businesses are going to happen. And again, Donnie was in front of the press. Here's what it looks like. He was in front of the press and he's waving the gold card and he's like, look, Trump gold card for you can get one of these for $5 million. He's talking about it like a child because he's just so giddy. He's been waiting for this grift since the 80s where he can use the presidency to hawk $5 million gold cards to foreigners that want, carte blanche business-wise and green card immigration-wise. Again, you have the president using the presidency, and it has his face on it and everything, because Donnie loves being worshipped. He loves his face on things, golden statues on the Holy Land of himself, all that kind of good stuff. He's waving this shit around, boasting and using the presidency at the same time to charge foreigners $5 million to do major business in this country. And, we'll just waive all the rules. That should horrify you. Have you seen other presidents do this? Obama, Clinton, Reagan, Bush, either Bush? Hold it. Look, I got a card for foreigners if they want to come in and have carte blanche. Look, it's got my face on it. $5 million. Who wants one? That's what he was doing. I didn't see Obama doing that. I didn't see the Bushes or Reagan or Clinton. I didn't see Hillary doing that either. Again, this is the beast, son. This is the grift he's been waiting for his whole life. Why do you think he was on Oprah in the 80s fucking talking about it? Ultimate grift. The ultimate example of the fox in the henhouse. And you voted for it. That's why you lost your country, son. Sorry. That $5 million gold card should tell you quite clearly you've lost your country. You think that cretin's ever going to give up power? And you think it ain't going to come to your doorstep? You're wrong. Despite Leon Scum's denials, Vance confirms reports Musk's tenure at Doge will only last through May and takes credit for setting the timeline and the mission. And we said that's going to take about 6 months. That's a quote. Of course, he's going to continue to be an advisor. Cat's out of the bag. Shouldn't have said that, JD. That defeats the whole purpose of the lie that Leon's going away. And I really applaud the optimism you all have. When a rumor comes out the White House, Donnie's turning on Leon, they're going to make him go away. Leon's going to leave in May and focus on Tesla and blah, 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 blah. No. Leon's never going away. Your country's over. I'm sorry. He said he would step down from Twitter. He didn't. He still runs it. He said he didn't run Doge, except when they do interviews with the Doge team, who's sitting in the front on Fox News. Well, that's Leon, not Miss Gleason. So that was a lie as well. Leon's still running Doge. So now Leon's saying he's going to try that lie for the third time. I'm going to step away from government. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Because no one wants him around. He's like the fucking plague. Literally. His name is the plague. So now they're going to do this charade where Leon's stepping down from the government position. No, he's not. JD, the couch fucker, just left the cat out the bag by accident. Of course he's going to continue to be an advisor. In other words, son, Leon's not going anywhere, just like he didn't go anywhere with Doge. He still runs it. Just like he didn't go anywhere with Twitter. He still runs it. Sorry, I really love your optimism, though. I wish I could share it with you. But I can't. Because I know this asshole. And he's pulled this move twice before, just in recent memory. The 7 largest Dow Jones drops in American history. Number 1, let's see all the different presidents with the top 7 Dow Jones drops. Number 1, Trump, March 16, 2020. The drop was 2,900 points. I'm just going to round them off. Well, that would be actually 3,000 points if I rounded it off. 2,997. I'll just say the actual number. So in 2020, March 16, Donald Trump, or Donnie Shitbags, 2,997. That's 2,997. Damn, Donnie. Again, he's another one who's like the plague. Everything he touches dies. Well, guess what he's touched twice now, son? America. What does that mean? We gonna die as a country. Number 2, Donald Trump. Twice? This is March 12, 2020. Minus 2,352 points. Number 3, Trump. I'm starting to see a pattern here. March 9th, 2020, minus 2,013 points. Number 4, Trump again. Minus 1,861 points. That's July 11th, 2020. Or maybe June. I think it's June 11th, excuse me. Number 5, again, Trump. April 3rd, or excuse me, March 4th, 2025. Excuse me, April 3rd, 2025. Minus 1,679. Number 6, Trump. March 11, 2020. Minus 1,464 points. That's 6 out of the 7. Number 7. Damn, it's Trump again. March 18, 2020. Minus 1338. That's 1,338. Donnie got the top fucking 7. There's no other names here. There's no other names here. That means Donnie's special. When I saw this chart, I was like, holy fuck. Donnie's also the only one who wanted gold statues in the Holy Land and to build a Trump Gaza resort. Have you ever seen this from anyone before? Again, the top 7 are Donnie shitbags. How long have we been a country? A couple hundred years? Holy fucking shit. Why is it just him? Why is it just him that wants gold statues of himself on the Holy Land? Almost as if Donnie's different than anyone else in all of history. Here's Donnie talking about Laura Loomer again. So yes, they really wanted to put the message out about this for some reason. I don't know who they were trying to get to or fuck with this. Trump. Laura Loomer's a very good patriot and a strong person. I saw her yesterday for a little while. She makes recommendations of things and people, and sometimes I listen to those recommendations. I bet that's not all Donnie does. And I bet that's not all she does is recommend things. So they want that message out that Miss Loomer has the clout or authority to come to the White House and get a few people fired. Maybe Miss Loomer was threatening to tell his wife about what took place months earlier. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that's why she got the visit and got the credit and the clout and the press. Who the fuck knows? Seems like Miss Loomer is a survivor and she always finds a way to snake her way back in. This is the claims Donnie made the other day with his big chart. They made claims of what other countries charge us. Someone got the real chart of what the other countries charge us versus Donnie's lies the other day. The numbers are hugely inflated. Just like the Doge numbers were, where they changed 8 million into 800 million as savings because they had no real savings. So they lied to the 10th fucking power. These numbers are way over represented. So again, China. Donnie claimed that they charge us a 67% tariff. The actual average tariff charged to U.S. is 7.5% by China. That's how far of a difference in the numbers there are. European Union, 39% is the claim made by Donnie and his people. Actual average tariff, 5.0%. Again, the number grossly exaggerated or lied about. Vietnam, Donnie claimed 92%. It's actually 9.5%. South Korea, Donnie claimed 25%. It's actually 6.5%. Canada, Donnie claimed 48%. It's actually 4%. Mexico, Donnie claimed 36%. It's actually 7%. All lies. Again, vastly overrepresented. Not even close to the fucking real numbers. You're being totally lied to yet again so Donnie can grift yet again. And you're the casualty, and so is the Dow, and so are your trading partners and your businesses and your farms, etc. You in the auto industry, you already took a hit right at the beginning. The U.S. Naval Academy has confirmed that officials there removed items commemorating female Jewish graduates from a historic display ahead of a visit to the school by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Tuesday. Sounds kind of Hitlery, doesn't it? That's because it is. That's because this is a Nazi movement. That's because they don't like Jews. That's what you're doing when you have a Nazi tattoo, Nazi salute, whatever. You're saying you don't like Jews. That was one of the core principles of the Nazis, that we hate Jews. So what do you think the modern Reich's about, Mr. Netanyahu? And Jews in America and Jews in Israel. What do you think the Nazi salute guy thinks of you? What do you think the Nazi salute guy would like to do to you? Who's the Nazi salute guy's right-hand man? Well, that's Donnie Shitbags. Why are Jews aligning themselves with Nazis? You already saw where that went back in the late 30s and 40s, right, guys? Now you're aligning yourselves with them. And I know it's not all Jews. I don't want to paint you all with the same brush. It's right-wing Jews. I know you think that that's the conduit to get your temple built and more glory for Israel. Guess what? It's the destruction of Israel, literally aligning with Jews. You know, the movement that killed you people in mass. You just forgot that. What happened to never forget? Oh, when it's convenient, when the religious right, when the political right sees Donnie as a conduit to glory for Israel and another temple and clearing out the Gazans and clearing out Palestine. Now it's cool to work with literal fucking Nazis. You know how I know they're Nazis? Leon is the leader, one of the leaders of the movement, and he threw up the Nazi salute intentionally with sincerity and passion. Donnie didn't say fuck him the next day and fire him and get him out of his sight and get him out of our sight. No, he didn't say shit at all. Donnie's the one that had a copy of Hitler's speeches next to his bedside. He even said that. Donnie's dad was in the Klan. You people know all this. Netanyahu especially knows all this. But again, the right-wing Jews, religious Jews, the right-wing Jews in Israel, they see Donnie as a conduit to glory for Israel, things they've always wanted to do. And they see Donnie as the conduit to build that temple. Do you think for 1 second the Jewish people ever were not thinking of that third temple and getting their temple rebuilt? Of course they were. That means a lot to them. That would be kind of the completion of their homeland returning, wouldn't it? That they could build the temple without starting World War III with military backup by the most powerful military in the world. Who can make war with the beast? Who indeed? Seems to slip through every snare, doesn't he? That's because he has the blessing. Donnie has the blessing. So does Leon. That blessing ends at a certain point, though. RFK Jr. says 20% of the HHS cuts were a mistake and will have to be reinstalled. One day after they laid him the fuck off, we can't run it by ourselves. Leon's AI can't do it either. That's garbage. Let's call some of them back after you shit can people again. How many times have we seen this with Leon in Twitter, Leon in government, Donnie in government, RFK in government? You got all of our intelligence people talking on Signal, inviting reporters in on imminent attacks, and then acting like it wasn't classified. They're all just fucking morons. They're incompetent, but there's an agenda as well. The incompetence, when they hire people back, that highlights the incompetence. When they're releasing classified information on an imminent strike in Yemen to reporters, that's incompetence. But there's an agenda on top of it. You know, clearing out that Gulf of Aden, bombing Somalia first, bombing Yemen second. That's the entrance to the Gulf of Aden, which leads up to the Suez and Israel. That's the agenda. The incompetence is inviting the reporter in to listen to the whole fucking agenda, including extorting Egypt, extorting all of Europe for use of the Suez as leverage. All of that came out. All of our old allies saw that. So they know the plan now, Donnie. So does everybody else. Here's Bobo. President Trump ran on helping the American worker and bringing back American manufacturing. Our farmers, cattlemen, and ranchers are thrilled with these tariffs as well. That is what these tariffs are about, putting our people first. In the end, America wins. No, America loses every time we try this tariff experiment because someone wants to pocket some treasury money. And according to Bobo, did you hear that, farmers of America? According to Bobo, you guys, she's speaking for you. All of you farmers across America, you love everything Donnie's doing. You love the U.S. aid cuts that you used to get money from. And you love the tariffs. You guys loved the tariffs during the first term, too. That's why a bunch of you committed suicide and lost your farms, right? And you had a whole movement of farmers to get Donnie out of office. That's how much he ruined you people financially. So you said, let me vote for it again, right? I hope some of you at least turned away. But I'm sure some of you just let all that just slip your mind and did it all again. And according to Bobo, you farmers in America love this tariff idea. I'm glad to know that. I'm glad you're happy with it. And, you know, if Bobo says it, it must be true, right? Of course. I'm sure, again, just like Bobo says, you farmers out there, you're going to love the tariffs. And things like, you know, getting rid of DEI and getting rid of, you know, Jewish women's accomplishments in the military for Pete Hegseth visits, because it's a Nazi Reich. All that's cool. That's what you really need. That's the consolation. That's going to help your life. That's going to bring the cost of your energy down, your mortgage, your rent, whatever. That's going to improve your life, right? No, not in any way, shape, or form. You've fallen for culture war bullshit. That doesn't matter. And that's why you lost your country. You were looking at the theater and not the grift. In fact, you defended the grift. But anyway, this is the last thing. Let's get to this. I was so happy to see this right before I came on tonight. A few hours before I came on. New York Times, South Korean Trump. Remember, he was impeached. But in South Korea, they got to have a court hearing. And the court has to decide whether South Korean Trump's impeachment is permanent. The same kind of thing we had here when Mitch McConnell and the boys had not one chance, but two chances during Donnie's first term to make sure he couldn't run again, throw him out of office for all the crimes, various crimes he committed. They decided not to do that. Now Mitch and the boys have lost their country, and so have the rest of us, because they couldn't hold Donnie accountable like the South Koreans did. Let me applaud you, South Korea. Well done. Taking the shit seriously, arresting the man, trying the man, and throwing him the fuck out of office. That's what we should have did with Donnie, and we also should have said you're not allowed to run again. And, we also should have said, because that's what we would have said as a nation, we know we're never going to set the precedent of putting a president in jail, but at the very least, let's just make sure he can't run again. He can't hold political office of any kind or be an advisor or anything. He can't be anywhere near politics or power. Never again. That's the punishment. Because, God forbid we lock up a president in this country. Nixon got a pardon too. They were not going to set that precedent. But I want to say I am so proud of you, South Korea. You have the balls that American law enforcement did not have under the Biden administration, and specifically Merrick, piece of shit, waste of oxygen Garland, that let all this play out to the point we lost our fucking country. because law enforcement just couldn't do this. Try a man, impeach him, throw him out of office, and tell him he can't run again. That's all they had to do. I don't need Donnie strung up by the balls. I'm not like so many other people. I just wanted him gone. I know they don't lock up people that rich most cases. They'd never lock up presidents. That's never going to happen. But I just wanted him gone. That would have satisfied me. I didn't need to see him go to prison, whatever, even though he probably deserves all that. And I know where Donnie's going at the end, so. Especially now, but I wish law enforcement in America would have taken it as seriously as South Korea is taking it, as Romania, making sure Putin's bitches are not running the democracies and ruining them intentionally because they don't want their legs broke, or they owe Putin money, or Putin financed their campaign, or whatever. Well done, South Korea, to get rid of this piece of fucking shit. Unfortunately, South Korea, we got the Antichrist, and he's going to affect everything. So who knows if this person might make a comeback. Maybe Donnie will help him out in some evil, horrible way with military force or something. I don't know. This is a dismantling and looting and a new world order, if you will. I saw the phrase several times today. The old order, changing the old order. The old global order, stuff like that. This is that thing that George Bush Sr. was talking about all those years ago. You know, that CIA hardcore establishment Republican. Remember that speech he gave? This is it. This is what George was talking about. That dream they've had for so long. No more borders, Satanism, Nazism, 1,000 points of light, all that bullshit, whatever it was. I forget the phrases he used. That was tribute, by the way, that mention of light, 1,000 points of light. It's like Donnie pays tribute in his way, Leon pays tribute in his way. That's what they're doing. I know it's another phrase that Alex Jones used and all those people used, right? Again, the difference between me and all those other fucking jerk-offs that you see, they've all pointed the finger at so many people. I've never pointed the finger at anyone until Donnie Krasnoff came along. And then Leon came along, who's a carbon copy of Donnie Krasnoff. Fascinating. That's the only time I've pointed the finger regarding these huge issues like New World Order and Satanists and Antichrist. I've never pointed the finger at anyone else. As people pointed the finger at Reagan, Obama, Bush, Clinton, every fucking world leader, Bin Laden. I always knew the Antichrist had to have the most powerful army behind him. Something that the world could not touch. So I figured it would be a U.S. president. Something like that. Because that's the only military on the planet that no one can touch. Right now. After Donnie and Leon loot it and ruin it, that's a whole nother story. But that's the plan as well. Donnie's the only one who wanted gold statues on the Holy Land of himself. No one else. In the story, it talks about this person, again, hates the god of women. There's a hatred of women, literally. We're seeing that in fucking spades every day, all day. And who can make war with them? And the desire for worship. It's all there. And Donnie is all those things. And again, my point is, everyone else pointed fingers. Alex Jones talking about George Soros and all those people. No, Alex was one of the people. you should have been staying away from. You were one of the people you should have been staying away from as long as you were part of the movement, the white nationalist movement, the MAGA movement, whatever you want to call it. You were the hand of what you were warning everyone about. Satan, Nazism, white nationalism, the ruination of your country, the ruination of the world. So you heard Alex use the phrase New World Order and stuff like that and equate it to Soros and all this. No, it was Alex. It was you. It was Leon, Pete Thale, Mike Cernovich, all the white nationalists, all the Nazis, people that actually consider themselves Nazis. Again, you were the hand of Satan. You were the hand of Nazism. You were the hand of fascism. Now it's reached its maximum expression. The people at the top were the hand of greed. We've reached its maximum expression. Donnie taking tribute, selling $5 million gold cards. And again, Donnie's the only one with gold statues of himself on the Holy Land in commercials. The biggest drops in the Dow, Donnie, all of them. He's special. He's different. No one else has done these things. And that tells me that he is who I think he is. Unfortunately, I keep, again, hoping for that moment where, okay, you're wrong. I want that moment so bad. Because, again, I don't feel special for being right here. It's quite sad, actually. And one of the saddest parts is so many of you out there still don't fathom it yet, how bad it's going to get. These people have real plans to take it where Adolf took it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Even further, now we have the ability to control the world globally. Why do you think Leon puts up so many satellites? Global coverage. That's why. For whatever purpose he wants. So what's described in the story? Actual global rule, global currency, seeing things in real time globally, events. All of that described in the story. At no other time in history was it possible. Right now it's possible. Images that go forth and speak on behalf of people. Only now was that possible. And they've been doing it for several years now. An image of yourself that has your values goes forth for you and says things for you while you go to sleep. Never before was that possible. All the things in the story are possible today. And again, if you look at history, and I'm going to shut it down after I say this, thousands of years we went with wooden wheels and horses and all that bullshit and no real technology. All of a sudden, in the middle of the 1800s or whatever, up until now, look at the progress that's been made in such a short amount of time. Not even 200 years. This ridiculous increase in knowledge out of nowhere in the span of under 2 centuries. It makes no fucking logical sense. That we went from the horse to a combustion engine to rockets to the moon in such a short amount of time makes no logical sense. My point is, you live in a different time. You live in a time where all the parts of that story are happening and they're possible. No one before could have said that. And a lot of the interpretations were wrong because certain words were not invented yet, like MAGA, and certain ideas, technology, etc., were not invented yet. So all the other interpretations were dead fucking wrong, as well as who it would be. Everyone was looking to the Middle East, Israel, this place, that place. I always had a feeling it was going to be a U.S. president because I knew this person would get the type of power that everyone on earth covets, the U.S. military, that ultimate power over the earth. I knew that person would seek that, and I knew once they had it, they wouldn't give it up voluntarily ever. What did Donnie do when he lost? He tried to overthrow the government, literally. Again, when he lost, I got all happy. Maybe he's not the guy I thought he was. Then he tried to overthrow the fucking government. I said, yep, he's the guy I thought he was. Who else has done that? What other president started a riot to overthrow the government at the Capitol? No one. That's who. Again, Donnie's special. And again, what sealed it for me was the assassination attempt. That's when I knew. And I didn't want to know. That really scared me that day. I was like, oh. I was so hoping it wasn't this. I wasn't in that time. I wasn't in that fucking story. Because I know the terrible evil and horror that will be wrought by those people. And that was all confirmed for me the day of the alleged assassination attempt. And every day since then has only strengthened my belief that that's what this is. Unfortunately for us, I wish I had better news. And I still hope, I hold out hope that you people in a year or two will be calling me an idiot when this all goes away. And I was wrong. Aha, I want you to laugh at me when we all see evidence that I'm just blatantly, utterly wrong. I look forward to that moment. And I pray for it. I wish for it. I want it to happen for you. We're not there yet. You can't call me an idiot now. That doesn't work. When it's proven that Donnie isn't that person, when I don't see gold statues of him, when I don't see Trump Gaza, when I don't see Gazans being cleared out, when Donnie goes away, whatever, that'll tell me I'm wrong. I really hope you people get to laugh, call me an idiot, say I was wrong, after the proof I was wrong comes out. I really hope that happens. I want that to happen for you. I want that to happen to me. That's how deadly serious this is, and I take no pleasure in discussing it, guiding you through it. It's just necessary because so few of us on this planet even understand what's happening right now. I know so many of you are out there like, what is going on? There's 150 things happening a day. Gold statues, Nazi salutes, rounding people up with no due process. What the fuck is going on? Government workers being fired in the thousands. Economy tanking 1,700 points. Oh my God, the sky's falling. Yes, the sky is falling. Yes. This is, again, the story we watched all the movies about. We pondered. We studied. Some of us. You're in it right now. That's not a good thing. Use the time wisely because there's not so much left. Anyway, until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.